Hey everybody, it's Lucia. So remember this pumpkin I got from the Dollar Tree? Well, I got this awesome fabric. It's so cute. And I wanted to use this as a template to make some placemats for my table. And what I want to do is I want to make these reversible. So like if I get tired of looking at this, I can just kind of turn them over and look at something else. So I went into my fabric stash and pulled out a bunch of the batiks that I have. And I have all these, which I love batiks. They're so pretty. And I think I'm going to use this one because it has orange, yellows, browns, just kind of like fall, autumn colors. So I am going to use this one for the reversible side. And I have just enough to get 4 mats. I'm just going to make 4 placemats. So I folded my material with all these cute, I don't know if you got to see them. They are so cute. They are little pumpkins. It's almost like cartoonish, but they have like a chicken on them. So what I'm going to do is I folded it in half and I'm going to cut my pumpkin shape or draw it on. I have my pen, and this pen, when you write on the fabric and then it'll iron off. I don't know if I'll be able to see it, but I think I will. And then my scissors. And what I want to do also is I don't want the stem. So I think I was going to do a stem on here, but then I decided against the stem. I think I just want the pumpkin shape. And I'm not going to put the face on. I'm just going to use the pumpkin shape. So I think what I'm going to do is maybe right here. Just kind of go from this line over to this line. Just so it's a little flat right there. And if I decide to put the stem on later, I can. And so I'm just going to cut that off. So I have something like that. Just a pumpkin. So I'm just going to lay that down, and what I'm going to do, let me see if I'm going to be able to see this. Just barely. And I'm doing 2 here. I can't fold it in half the long way because these guys would be upside down from down here. So I have to do 2 at a time. So I'm just going to go ahead and draw on here. It's Sunday morning. I have my coffee. So I thought I would try to get at least some of this done before we go to church. Still got a couple of hours. So I can at least get it started. I just saw this fabric and just absolutely love it. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to see the black. I might have to use something else. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, I got this. It's like Taylor's chalk. So I'll just use that. That I know I'm going to be able to see. Oh yeah, much better. Okay, so there will be 2. And then I'm gonna do the next 2. And then I'll do 4 out of this, which is gonna be the back. And then I will cut back. Okay, I am gonna put some batting in mine because I want them to have a little bit of thickness and absorbency also, because they're going to be on the table, you know, things might get spilled on them. So I am going to do batting. So I just have this is what I use in my quilts. And I'm going to cut out 4 pieces of this. Same process. And what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to, when I cut, I'm going to cut inside my line here. I'm going to cut inside my line here so it's just a wee bit smaller than the actual fabric, because I don't want my seams to be that thick. And I cut the actual fabric the same. I didn't leave I didn't go out like a 1/4 inch for a seam allowance because this is a pretty big pumpkin. So if I lose a 1/4 inch on it, I'm not really worried about that because it's big anyway. But if you want it bigger, then you know, add in your seam allowance of a 1/4 inch. That's what I use. Standard quilting seam allowance. All right. So I'm going to cut these out and I'll be back. Okay, so now I have all my pieces cut. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sandwich them all together. And I'm still so unsure if I want to put a stem on or not. What do you think? Should I put a stem on? I'm thinking probably I should, huh? Yeah, I think so. Alright, well, I gotta find some fabric for a stem. But for right now, we're just gonna do these. The stem I can put in there. Okay, so you put your fabric down and you put your right side up on one. And then you take your other fabric and you put the right side down. See, I think I have this one the wrong way. The one thing with batiks is they don't have a right side, so sometimes it's hard to tell. It was right. So you have your right side up and your right side down, so you have your two pretty sides facing each other. And then you take your piece of batting that we cut smaller than the actual piece, and we lay that on top. And then once I find the fabric for the stem, I will tuck that stem right in between where the two pretty sides are meeting. And then I'm going to sew all the way around it. I'm going to sew all the way around it, leaving an opening on the side so I can turn it. When I turn it, you're going to have the right sides out and the stem will be out. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to pin this. I like to pin. I'm a pinner. Some people hate to pin. I like to pin. I don't know. Sometimes I just feel like it's going to make it look better because nothing's going to move. And if anything can go wrong with a project, it would go wrong with me, because I tell you. Just to hold it down. Over here I'm going to put 2 pins because this is where I'm going to leave my opening, is on the side. So I want to make sure to back stitch here when I come around. Pin's crooked. I need to get some new pins. I keep saying I'm going to go buy new pins, but I don't. Because there's so much other stuff to buy, right? But I really do need some new pins. I don't have that many, actually. Like, this is my little pin cushion. And look, that's it. That's all the pins I have. I used them all on these. Okay, so I have these. I'm going to cut some stems, probably put them in because I'm thinking it probably needs it. Oh, see this? See, I didn't have my fabric straightened out. I don't want that because I don't want any big old wrinkles in it. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So I have all of these put together. I'm going to find some fabric for the stem. And you know it's going to be a pain to cut this little guy, but we'll do it. We'll get it done. All right, so I'm gonna go find some fabric for this, and then we'll get to sewing. Okay, so I did decide to put a stem in, and I'm gonna use this green fabric. It was between these two, and just looking at them, the green just kind of goes with both sides better. So I chose the green. So I'm just going to cut out 4 of these and then sew them together first, and then nestle them inside my pumpkins. So I will get all these cut out and then come back. Okay, I am back. So here was the top of my pumpkins, and here are my stems. I have them sandwiched together like I do the pumpkins themselves. I just have pretty sides together and a piece of batting in the back, and I will sew around this whole thing, and I will tuck it in between the 2 pretty sides once it's sewed in here like that, and then when I turn it inside out, the stem will be there. So I think now we can go to the sewing machine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm just going to sew around, and I'm not going to sew here because this is going to be tucked into the pumpkin. So I'm going to sew all around this part of it. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is right here, I'm going to clip the corners of each edge. And then I'm just going to snip around and not crossing over my sew line. maybe trim off a little bit of the excess here. Okay, and then I'm going to turn this inside out. Get my chopstick here. Push out the corners. And it kind of looks like that. So then what I'm going to do with that is get my pumpkin here. And this is where I had cut the edge. I'm just going to tuck that in between the two fabrics. Up to that line. I'm gonna tuck that in there like that, and then I'm gonna sew around the pumpkin. I'm going to sew around with 1/4 of an inch, and that's what I did on the little stems also. Okay, I'm going to start over here because that's where I'm going to turn it. So I'm going to start over here and backstitch. Okay, so right here is where I'm coming up to turn it, so I'm just going to backstitch right here. Pull it up and take it out. And then we're going to trim the threads. The rule is to leave it open enough where you can get your hand in there. I obviously didn't do that. So I'm just going in around all the seams, just taking my finger and kind of pushing it out. You know, when you try something new, you always learn as you go on the first one. Okay, so I'm going to take my stick here and I'm going to just kind of push out the edges. What I should have done before I turned it was clip inside my corners there. which I think I'm going to do. So I'll be right back. So I've turned it wrong side out again. And what I meant by clipping my stitches is, see right here where this kind of goes up to form the pumpkin? I'm going to clip in between there. And I might just clip around it. Not going over my sew line because you don't want to. Okay, so now I'm going to turn it back. Yeah, that's better. You can just feel that it's coming out better. Okay, so see how this seam right here is still in there a little bit? You could take this pin and just kind of pull it out. Okay, so I'm going to iron this and then we'll be back. Okay, so here's my finished pumpkin. This is the one side, and this is the other side. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to draw, well, I've drawn the lines in for the lines of the pumpkin, and I'm just going to sew those in, and then I'm going to sew 1/4 of an inch all the way around the pumpkin to finish it off, because I have to close up that opening where I turned it. Okay, I'll be back. Hello everybody, I came back to show you my placemats that I made. I finished them up and here they are on my table. They're so cute. Oh my gosh, I loved how these turned out. So here is one. And then if we turn it over, we have a different pattern on the back. So they're reversible. I can change it out if I get tired of looking at the black pumpkins. They're so cute. So there they are, and there's my little fall decorations I put in the middle. These are the little salt and pepper shakers that I got at the Dollar Tree the other day. Aren't they adorable? I've done some other decorating for fall. Would you like to see it? Here's the top of my curio. Here's the cute little pumpkins I had that says, give thanks, be thankful, and happy fall. I just put together this was a tin I made like a couple years ago, and I just glued some flowers to it from the Dollar Tree and put some flowers in it. Some pine cones that I gathered and painted. And then I had a bunch of these little tiny little squashes and sunflower candles. So I just decided to stick them in a jar and they look pretty up there. So then over here, about that, my husband's still working on the chicken coop. So over here, and the door's open so I can hear everything. There's the owl, and I put some flowers in it that my daughter had given me. Got a little candle on top of a leaf. And then we have, this is a project I did with my quilting guild. I am going to be doing a share on that, but I just put it out because it looked cute underneath this vase, and a little harvest blessings. And then in the living room, I just made up a little table centerpiece here. It's a wreath I had made. I put a glass bowl in between it, just had some extra leaves and flowers that were left over from the flowers I had in the bouquets, and another pine cone, and I decided to put that in there. So that is it. Let's go back into the kitchen. Here is my table. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy with these placemats. They turned out so cute. I love them. Super adorable. And like I said, they're reversible. If I get tired of one side, I can change it over to the other side. Super cute. All right. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.